Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at something you shared with us.
Mm.
It's a snapshot of travel services and recommendations specifically for Hong Kong, all pulled from trip.com.
Mm-hmm.
Think of this as, your quick guide to getting the lay of the land. What are the key things you need to know if you're planning a trip there?
Or even if you're a local, maybe looking for some new things to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to kind of sift through this information efficiently.
Yeah, we want to pull out what Trip.com is really emphasizing for Hong Kong. Not just list it off, but figure out what might be genuinely useful and why it could matter for someone actually planning.
Okay, let's dive in then. Right off the bat, you see the usual suspects, the core categories any travel site offers, right? Hotels, flight,
The essentials, yeah. Hotels and homes, flight plus hotel packages.
trains too. They list trains.
Right, and that's pretty key for that region.
Mhm.
Airport transfers are listed prominently, too.
Takes the stress out of arrival, definitely.
And then, of course, attractions and tours, travel guides, even a map section.
Still useful, even with phones. And it looks like it all connects to their Trip.com rewards program.
Exactly. So it feels like a pretty complete toolkit they're offering there.
Okay. Now, something that really jumped out at me was the sheer volume of SIM card and eSIM options. It's quite a list.
It really is. It's like they've tried to cover every possible connectivity need someone might have when visiting.
And it's not just, here's a SIM card. The options are super specific.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. It's tailored. You can get plans just for Hong Kong or ones that cover, say, China, Hong Kong, and Macau.
Or global or wider Asia coverage.
Exactly. And then you drill down into the data itself.
Right, like day passes if you're just popping in.
Mm-hmm. Or bigger data packages for longer stays, even unlimited options sometimes. And the durations vary a lot, too, from just 1 day up to, 30 days.
Gives you a lot of control.
Definitely. And even how it's billed. Some are 24-hour cycles, some are based on the calendar day.
Ah, good distinction. And the eSIM activation sounds easy, just a QR code.
Yeah, for the eSIMs, which are basically digital SIMs you download, super convenient, no fiddling with physical cards.
Though they do still offer physical SIMs, it looks like, via mail.
They do, yeah, surface mail. But there seem to be some limits on where they can ship them.
Right, so that's something you'd need to check well in advance, depending on where you are.
For sure. The eSIM is probably, simpler for a lot of international travelers. Buy it online, activate it maybe even before you land.
There were a couple of specific options that sounded pretty useful in that list. One was a Hong Kong-Macau shared plan.
Yes, and that one included voice calling, which isn't always standard on data-only SIMs.
And store pickup was an option, too. That seems handy.
Very practical, yeah. Especially if you need a local number right away for, I don't know, contacting your hotel or something. And picking it up avoids waiting for mail.
And the other one was a global 5G prepaid eSIM that explicitly mentioned tethering.
Ah, yeah, tethering support. That's a big one if you need to share your connection with a laptop or tablet, or maybe with family members.
Because sometimes that's blocked or costs extra, right?
Well, often, yeah.
Yeah.
So seeing it included is a definite plus for, digital nomads or anyone working on the go.
Okay, so that's connectivity sorted. What about actually getting around in Hong Kong? They highlight some efficient ways, starting right at the airport.
Mm-hmm. The Hong Kong Airport Express e-ticket?
With that QR code entry again. Sounds like the way to go.
Yeah, it seems designed to just whisk you from the plane to the train, no ticket queues, and it covers one-way or round trips.
To the main stations, Hong Kong and Kowloon.
Right, depending on where you're staying. Super convenient first step.
And then for getting beyond the main island, or maybe for a day trip, ferries.
Yep, they specifically mentioned the Cotai water jet. That's a major one for the Hong Kong to Macau route.
And they mention discount tickets sometimes.
Yeah, worth looking out for potential deals there. And they also list Turbojet, the other big player on that route. So easy access to Macau.
Makes sense to include those. Now this one sounds like a must-have. The Octopus Hong Kong tourist version Octopus card.
Oh, absolutely. If you're visiting Hong Kong, you pretty much need an octopus card.
And this tourist version comes preloaded with 50 Hong Kong dollars.
Yep, HKD 50. And you can collect it right at the airport.
So you land, grab your card, and you're set for the MTR, buses, trams.
Pretty much all public transport. It just makes everything seamless. No fumbling for change or figuring out fares for each trip.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's not just local travel, is it? They also mentioned cross-border buses.
Right, to places like Guangzhou and Shenzhen and mainland China.
and even direct routes to attractions,
Yeah,
like Ocean Park and Disneyland.
yeah, which could save a lot of hassle compared to navigating public transport transfers to get there.
That really opens up the possibilities for day trips or maybe combining cities.
Definitely. And they also mentioned the bus route across the Hong Kong-Zhuhai Macau Bridge to Macau, which is another option besides the ferry.
Okay. And quickly, they mentioned the big bus hop-off tours, too.
The classic tourist bus, yeah. Always a decent option for getting your bearings in a new city, seeing the main sites quickly.
Especially for first-timers, maybe.
Right. Get the overview, hop off where you want to explore more.
So when Trip.com pulls together its top travel services, what stands out? Some familiar names pop up again,
Yeah, the Airport Express e-ticket and the Octopus card are right there again.
which really hammers home how essential they probably are for visitors.
Definitely signals don't leave home without these, or rather, don't leave the airport without these.
Right. Also listed is Plaza Premium Lounge access at the airport.
HKIA. Access to an airport lounge can be, well, a real lifesaver sometimes.
Especially after a long flight or if you have a long layover or early start, just somewhere quiet to relax.
Exactly. Grab a bite, maybe shower, catch up on emails. It makes the travel part less stressful. Have you used the lounges there?
I haven't personally in Hong Kong, but I definitely see the appeal.
They can be worth it, especially during busy periods.
Okay, what else is top? The Peak Tram. Classic Hong Kong.
Yep, the Hong Kong Peak cable car ticket. And they mention combination options, too.
Like including the Sky Terrace 428 for those amazing views.
Right. Or maybe Madame Tussauds, which is also up there. Bundling can sometimes save a bit of cash and time.
Make sense? Streamlines the planning. Now, this is interesting. They also mention Hong Kong Wi-Fi rental,
Yeah, with airport pickup and return.
even with all the eSIM options. I guess a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot device still has its place.
I think so. Maybe for families or groups traveling together. Share one connection easily across multiple phones or tablets.
Or if someone's phone doesn't support eSIM, perhaps.
Could be. And sometimes those rental Wi-Fi units have really generous or even unlimited data, which might be simpler than tracking multiple SIM allowances.
Good point. Then there's the Jago City past China, Hong Kong, travel packages, essentially.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those passes that gets you into a selection of attractions for a fixed price,
Yeah.
often available for different numbers of days.
And they mentioned different pricing for kids, too.
Right. These can be great value if the included attractions line up with what you want to see.
You'd need to do the math compared to buying individual tickets.
Always a good idea, yeah. Check the list of attractions carefully.
And rounding out the top travel services are the airport transfer services again, but this time including cross-border chartered cars.
Ah, okay. So that's like a premium private transfer option.
Direct to your hotel, or maybe even directly across the border if you're going straight to Shenzhen or somewhere.
Sounds like it. Definitely the convenience option, especially with lots of luggage or for a bit more comfort.
Okay, let's shift gears now to the experiences and activities. This is where you get more of the local flavor beyond just transport and logistics.
Right, the fun stuff.
We see some predictable things like Hong Kong Disneyland meal coupons
Handy if you're planning a Disney day.
and hotel buffets like at Harbour Grand Cafe or Courtyard by Marriott. Booking those ahead could be useful.
Takes one thing off your plate, planning-wise.
But then there are more unique finds, like traditional Chinese desserts from a place called Star 15.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a proper local gem.
Highlighting things like that is great, pushes you beyond just the main tourist spots.
Absolutely. Finding those authentic local tastes can be a real highlight of a trip.
And it's not all food. They list some more active things, like Power Play Arena drift karting.
Huh, okay. And just climbing courses.
So they're really catering to a broad range of interests, not just sightseeing.
Seems like it. Adrenaline junkies, families looking for activities.
And interestingly, even personal care services are listed. Barely Beauty for hair removal. Medical Beauty for skin treatments.
Huh. That is an interesting addition. I guess it reflects that people might be on longer trips or just have regular needs. Practical in a way.
Yeah, maybe medical tourism is a factor too.
Could be.
On the entertainment front, VSing beats karaoke.
Karaoke's huge there.
Yeah, and dart venues. Plus, local food souvenirs, mee cakey, handmade cookies.
Edible souvenirs. Always a good choice for taking a taste of Hong Kong home.
Easy to pack, usually.
And great for sharing with people back home.
And of course, more restaurants.
Hmm.
Sakurada Japanese restaurant, Golden Phoenix restaurant, which apparently has a 55-year history as a local steakhouse.
Wow, 55 years. That suggests probably pretty well loved locally.
Exactly. Finding those long-standing local institutions can lead to some really great meals, often away from the main tourist crowds.
Yeah, valuable to see those highlighted.
Finally, in this section, some things that look like they might be seasonal or special offers. Nanhaino, 2 shark's fin and abalone meal. Hanaji Lian sushi sets.
Right. Those sound like specific promotions or maybe higher-end seasonal specials.
So if something like that catches your eye, you definitely want to double-check the current availability and details on trip.com.
For sure. Those kinds of deals can change frequently.
Okay, let's quickly cover the more functional stuff at the end, the other important information.
Right, the nuts and bolts.
They list contact us, options, customer support, service guarantee info. Pretty standard, but important.
Absolutely crucial, actually. Knowing how to get help if something goes wrong gives you peace of mind when booking.
Then the About section, background on trip.com, the parent company, news, careers.
And all the legal stuff, terms and conditions, privacy statement.
Standard practice, but good to know where to find it if you need it. Shows transparency.
It does. Lets you understand who you're dealing with and their policies.
And then this other services list seems broader. Investor relations, the rewards program again, affiliate program.
List your property. Become a supplier.
Right, so this shows the scope of trip.com as a major platform connecting not just travelers, but also businesses, property owners, suppliers in the travel industry.
Yeah, it highlights that they're a big player in the whole travel ecosystem, not just a consumer-facing website.
And finally, the usual copyright notice and site operator details.
The necessary fine print.
So wrapping up this deep dive on trip.com's Hong Kong offerings.
Right.
Wow, it's pretty clear they're aiming for comprehensive coverage.
Yeah, a very wide array of services.
From the absolute basics like flights and hotels, through a really surprisingly detailed set of transport options, connectivity solutions.
Right down to local experiences, food, activities, even personal care.
They really seem to want to be a one-stop shop for planning a Hong Kong trip.
The convenience factor of having it all integrated is definitely a major selling point. Streamlines the planning quite a bit.
2 things that really stood out to me were, 1, just the sheer variety of SIM and eSIM options. They've clearly put thought into different traveler needs there.
Agreed. That level of granularity is impressive.
And 2, the focus on making arrival easy, the Airport Express e-tickets, the preloaded octopus card for pickup, smoothing out those first moments in a new place.
Definitely. Reducing that initial friction can make a big difference to how your trip starts.
So it really leaves you thinking, with all this stuff available, from the super practical to the purely fun, what would you actually find most valuable? If you were planning that Hong Kong trip tomorrow, or even just exploring your own city differently, which of these kinds of services would really make the biggest impact for you?
That's a great question. It really depends on your travel style, doesn't it? But understanding the options lets you pick and choose what truly matters for your trip, making it hopefully better and less stressful.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Hong Kong travel via trip.com. Until our next exploration.